Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I am your host, Alberto Calderon. Thank you for joining us as always. And I can finally say it. And with us, our co-host, Alti. How you doing, Alti?
I'm doing great. I have allergies, but I'm here. I'm alive. How are you, Alberto?
I'm doing well. A little bit tired. We always joke off screen that I'm always late for my own show, and today wasn't the exception. I was ready. I'm going to be there 10 minutes early. I wasn't. I'm doing a lot of work on our backyard, trying to get that set up for the summer, trying to feed the dogs before the show so I don't have to worry about that. Kids going around, school's almost over, so they're going crazy. So I'm late, tired, but I'm here. No allergies just yet. Poland is starting to get to Florida, but we're here on this Star Wars Saturday to talk a little bit Star Wars. So we're here. How does it feel, Oti, finally starting the show as a co-host? We're not hiding anything. You're our co-host.
How do I put this? It's exciting because I get to talk Star Wars every week without the pressure of everything that you have to do yourself, the things that you do.
Yeah.
Because, I love my podcast. I love doing it. But during this busy season, which finally comes to an end tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of tax season in Puerto Rico. So it's been so hard to do podcasting, but here it's a bit easier because you just sit down and talk.
Yeah, let me cross off from here. Okay, I had Oti doing all this other stuff. You're a co-host, you gotta earn your keep, but no. That's fine. That's the way I like it. Just having someone to talk Star Wars. So yeah, and there's a lot to talk about today. Why didn't this interview, this Vanity Fair article, come out last week when we did our big celebration? Because now everything's out there.
But you know what? That's the part of Star Wars. Sometimes you do an episode, and next thing you know, everything is. Star Wars is like a sport, man. You can do a preview for a big game, and when that game ends, everything you said was irrelevant. Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah, and I'll give them props. I've been extremely vocal about Lucasfilm's marketing, how they're doing everything backwards. These past 2 weeks coming up to Kenobi, they've knocked it out of the park. Interviews overseas with the cast, bunch of different articles, little clips that just expand of what we've seen before. So I think they're doing a lot to promote Kenobi, not like they did for Boba Fett or even Mandalorian. So they're really pushing this last few weeks and not doing it with TV spots or a bunch of trailers that spoil it. It's just, hey, here's the cast. They're excited to be back. Let's talk with them. And then that has taken the fandom by storm. So I'll applaud them for that and give them props.
Yeah, I think it's also easier to market this because, we know all the big players. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's Anakin, and it's also the actors that played them before. So it's very interesting to see how different this is. But I agree. You don't need a trailer to build hype. Every time one of those little snippets of them sitting down talking about the show comes up, I get so excited. So
yeah. It's going to be interesting because I think for Andor, it might be similar because it's characters that we already know. Diego Luna loves to be out there talking about Star Wars. So I think we'll see a similar push, maybe not as much, but we'll see something. But then for Acolyte and some of the newer shows, and even Bad Batch Season 2, we'll see how those are marketed. So we'll see. But before we start, as always, thank you guys for being here. So make sure that if you're watching this video live, make sure, or even later, who cares if you're watching live, like this video, thumbs up, leave us a comment down on the comment box, I guess. All your thoughts on this Vanity Fair article. We're going to be speculating about Kenobi in a bit. And make sure you subscribe to our channel. And if you're watching live, thanks. And make sure to let us know in the chat. And when this comes out later on the week on the audio podcast, same thing. Just let us know what you guys think. And as always, again, the Amidala Initiative is still out there. Make sure that you guys do what you can. Help out. Down in the bottom of this video, there's the link for their GoFundMe. So, hit it twice. Let's go and check it out. All right. Anything else before we start? No, let's go ahead. I think
let's go.
We're ready. So if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars. And yes, Star Wars news. And that took me off. Star Wars news. Yes, one thing.
One thing that did happen. I got my Brotherhood
it's too late.
copy.
We've moved on.
I got my Brotherhood copy. It didn't take a month.
Yeah, right.
It'll take me a while to get to it because I have all the High Republic to read, but thank you, USPS.
Yeah. Non-spoilers. I finished it. I've tweeted it out. If you're a Attack of the Clones fan, especially, you're gonna love this book. Okay. It's a great continuation. If you love the Clone Wars, you're gonna love this book. There's a bunch of connections. If you love the prequels, you're gonna love this book. So for those fans, they're gonna be over the moon. And I've seen a lot of people say this is their favorite book. It's not mine. I enjoyed it tremendously. There's a few points here and there that I kind of really? Do we need to keep jabbing at Mace Windu as that evil guy?
I'm gonna love it then.
Yeah, you're fine. So I said for people that kind of fall on that track, they're gonna say, point there you go. He's one of the reasons. He's always, every time Anakin looks back, there's Mace Windu just giving him a stare down. It's like, come on.
He's like, turn.
Yeah. But apart from that, I think the way that Mike Chen wrote Anakin and Kenobi makes sense. It follows those characters at that point. And it's great to see because Anakin just became a knight. Kenobi just became a master, got put in the council. So it's great to see how they deal with this new relationship. And then the business in Cato Neimodia and all that. Interesting enough.
We got that answer then?
Dude, do you even know what the book is about? I should start there.
No idea. I just saw Kenobi and Obi-Wan in the cover. I know Asajj is somewhere in there. So yeah.
I wanted more Asajj. She's there, and this isn't a spoiler. I guess this is the first canonical, appearance of Ventress, because they don't know who she is. Okay. She shows up, Count Dooku sends her, and then she's there. So it's great to have her, but there's not that relationship.
One question. You love the Jedi Lost book. How does it connect to that? Or does it even?
Nah, there's no connection. Okay. No. So
you haven't read Dark Disciple, right?
No, I haven't read Dark Disciple. It might have some connection, but at this point, they're not revealing a lot that Asajj was a former Jedi or anything.
Okay.
So you're just almost like Anakin and Kenobi. There's this new person, this Asajj Ventress. We don't know where she falls. So there's not a lot to her backstory, but she's there causing chaos for Kenobi, which is always fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out. But the thing is, there's a bombing in Cato Neimodia, and Kenobi needs to go check it out. So this whole book is that business on Cato Neimodia doesn't count. Okay. And you'll figure out at the end that Kenobi says something. This is where it doesn't count. So
okay.
We'll see what you think about it. All right, so before we jump into the first topic, who's there? Oh, there she is.
Yeah,
There's Mo. How you doing, Mo? Nice to see you. Hope you have a nice day. All right, so let's talk about that Vanity Fair article. We got this, I don't know when it was, Wednesday or Thursday. Some great pictures by Annie Leibovitz, and then it was written by Anthony Bresnikan, who's done a lot of these Star Wars articles, I think for Entertainment Weekly, now with Vanity Fair. So all in all, the article was great. Come on, look at that cover. Kenobi is back finally. 5 days. No, 6 days, and we'll finally get that. So all in all, it's a very long article. Yes, we'll jump into Andor in a minute, Mo. So just overall thoughts on the article itself, and then we'll jump into some specific points.
So I told you I hadn't read the article before today. I saw snippets here and there, but before the show, I decided to read it. And it was interesting. It was something very different from what I was expecting. Mm-hmm. It deals so much with legacy and the legacy of the returning actors to the show and their connection to Star Wars and the relationship with the Star Wars. It deals with the legacy of Cassian Andor with Diego Luna and being this new character in this new version of Star Wars. And Kathleen Kennedy talks a lot, and the article overall goes over the legacy of George Lucas and him wanting to bring Star Wars to TV, and then Kathleen Kennedy continuing that vision. So it was very interesting for me to read it. It was a very good article, actually. I wasn't happy with a lot of the things I read, but overall it was interesting, and it really gave me the impression that we'll get to that, but even though I don't love that TV is the new avenue Star Wars is going on, they're really like going all out with it, and it's like they're taking it very seriously. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same boat. The article itself gave us a lot of great information, things that we've been asking about. We spent a whole episode last week talking about what's next for Star Wars. Is it gonna be kind of shown out there in Celebration? What can we expect? And we got a lot of those answers. I didn't agree with all the answers that we got, but at least those questions are out there now, and then we can start playing and speculating and all that fun stuff. But yes, the article itself was great. As I was reading it and tweeting out, oh, I love this, and then a few things that, oh, maybe I didn't like this answer. And I think in one part, something that I read, they even said, yeah, we're focusing more, at least this article, on the TV side, but let's talk about movies. And then they talked a little bit about the movies. Actually, let's start with the movies real quick because that's real short. And Kathleen Kennedy kind of says, we have a plan, but we're looking for directors or writers or everything are going to be committed to these 3 to 5 years. We don't.
That was a huge thing, and I really loved reading that.
Yes, it's again was one of the biggest issues with that sequel trilogy, changing directors willy-nilly. Writers, you got 1 year to write this and then start working. Okay, now the next guy, oh, you're not gonna do it, and then you come in. So now, okay, we messed up. This is the way we're gonna do it. You need to commit for 5 years. So maybe that's a reason why all these movies are taking so long, and that's great. Give them time to write these stories and have a good story before you start shooting or whatever. Taika Waititi's movie is supposed to be the next one to come out. There's no date. Is it the surprise 2023 movie? No, but we'll see next week. This has to be announced next week. Give us a little bit more information. And then Rogue Squadron following this. And then we'll jump into Rian Johnson later.
It's vague on the dates though, because they said that Taika's is probably next shortly someday, and then a little bit after that we'll get Patty's movie. But some very interesting thing though, I don't know if you have to talk about it later because you put the Rian Johnson for later, but she talks about the Kevin Feige movie.
So let's go into that because then
that was interesting.
Because I don't think, because we talked before, you didn't read the actual interview just with Kathy Kennedy.
Oh, she goes into that.
Yeah, that one all her quotes in the main article are then expanded on her own interview. Okay. And for the Kevin Feige thing, because a lot of people jumped into, well, Michael Waldron said last week that he's working on the Kevin Feige. What are you talking about? At the end of the article, it says, oh, this interview was done back in May or something, or in March before. So she might have been playing coy, and then Michael Waldron came out after all this had been said. So
thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Yes, everyone was like, come on, Kathy. Come on, it's out there. Don't try to hide it.
Okay, no.
All right. So you know what? I had as a third point or fourth, we're talking movies, Rian Johnson. I'm gonna read you the quote, and it says, and this is straight from Kathleen Kennedy when she's asked, what about Rian Johnson? We've been hearing about this for years. Rian has been unbelievably busy with Knives Out and the deal that he made at Netflix for multiple movies. I've had meetings with Rian. He's somebody that comes in as part of our little brain trust discussion along the way. He remains very committed to what it is we're trying to do. He just literally hasn't had the time to devote. That's what I'm saying. Anyone who comes into Star Wars universe needs to know that this is a 3, 4, 5 year commitment. A lot longer than that first one.
And very different from
yes.
what the snippet said.
Last week, I said on this show, if it doesn't get announced in Star Wars Celebration, it's not happening. You said, be patient. There's still time. There's still talk, and it's still on the website. After listening to this quote, are you still in the same mindset that they're still working on it little by little, or is it kind of in the back burner?
Two faces. When I read because as you said, I didn't read her interview. I read the article. When I read the article, I went, okay, this is over. It's not happening, or it's not happening anytime soon. And it was weird because we knew Ryan was busy because he had this deal with Netflix, and I'm like, so you're now realizing he's busy? Because after the deal, he got asked, and he's like, yeah, I'm still working on it. So you're like, okay. But that full quote makes me think that it's still on the table. Nothing has been scrapped. It's in the back burner because they can't fast track it. But I'm based on that quote and that quote alone, I don't think it's off the table.
Okay. It's funny being on Twitter after both kind of articles came out. You have both sides. People saying, haha, I told you, back burner. I mean, it's not coming out. And then the other side, haha, I told you, it's still happening. And I was, same as you, that the main article, I read it, it's done. Back burner, multiple deals, this movie's done. But then listening to the full interview, it's like, man, maybe give it 8 or 9 years and maybe we'll get it. So I think, forget about Celebration. There's not going to be any mentions of it, I'm guessing. Anything official.
I don't know, man.
They might be, Ryan Johnson is still working on it. Kind of like that. Nothing specific. But I do think now that it will come out 6, 7, 8 years from. I don't know this Netflix deal. I don't know how many movies it's doing or whatever. 3 movies. I don't know how fast it will get through them, but 2028 Star Wars.
So I think the deal is until Knives Out 3.
Okay.
2 is coming out this year, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm pretty sure they already started working on 3.
And then Knives Out 2 is part of this 3 movie deal?
I think so. So yeah, I said 3 movies. I meant 3 Knives Out movie.
Even the article, because she says Knives Out and this Netflix deal, so I thought it was different things.
Yeah, no. So I think, I don't know if he's working on it. He said he's been writing, so I don't know if he's done with Knives Out 3 and then goes like, okay, what's my next project? I did Looper. Maybe he still has that Star Wars, as they say in Spanish, espinita he wants to just take out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but the fact that they've refused to shut the door on it, Alberto, Last Jedi came out in 2017. The movies got announced before the movie came out.
Yeah.
It's been a while. They've been doing a ton of things, a lot of reshuffling. They've had a lot of moments to go like, it's done, and they've refused to do it.
We all thought that he wasn't doing episode 9 because he was going to go work on his trilogy, and we're still waiting.
But also, before episode 9, and that's mentioned in the article where Kathleen Kennedy goes like, we're changing our approach to it. That was a perfect moment to say, like, we're not doing Ryan's movie because it doesn't go with what we want to do. No, he's still working on it. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a trilogy, because at some part on the article she says, hey, Lauren, thanks for joining us. Lauren, next week we'll be live.
Correspondent.
We gotta hook up probably about an hour before we go live on Friday, make sure everything works. But it's gonna be fun next week. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be a trilogy, because Kathleen Kennedy says, we're not thinking about in a trilogy sense. It's just kind of all these stories are interconnected or something to that effect. We're thinking about stories, not trilogy. But even if we get one movie, they'll be okay.
So Mo's happy they're taking their time, and I'm actually happy with it. I'm not anxious about it.
We got plenty of TV news and TV series coming out, so we don't need to rush through it. It's a 3 to 5 year commitment. So yeah, don't wait for his Netflix deal to be done to then hopefully start Star Wars. 26, was it 4 years from now? I don't know. But 2027 maybe.
If you think about it, it makes sense. If Ryan's movie, Taika's movie, let's say it comes out in 2 to 3 years, then Patty Jenkins' movie comes out in 4 to 5 years. that gives Ryan enough time to end these movies, because Knives Out is not this massive production that takes up 2 years. It gives him time to finish this and then, sit down and start pre-production and start building whatever it is he's gonna build.
Yeah, but I changed my tune a little bit. I think it will come out, but not in the foreseeable future.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's gonna take time.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump to another point of the article. And this is the one that I'm surprised about how many people jumped into this point and started back in Solo. I love Solo. I understand why it is kind of in middle of the pack for a lot of people out there. A lot of people didn't ask for this movie. There's the whole Make Solo 2 happen push out there. We're extremely surprised by the outpour of support for the movie and for Alden after the quote came out. And again, I'm going to read the full quote from Kathleen Kennedy and not just the little snippet from the main article that wasn't taken out of context, but the way it was kind of staggered inside the article had a different intonation to it. But she goes on to say there should be moments along the way when you learn things. That may have certainly been a learning moment. And this is in response to someone trying to fill the shoes of Harrison Ford. Some people have talked about how, well, maybe Solo should have been a TV show, but even doing a Solo TV show without Harrison Ford as Han Solo is the same thinking. Maybe I should have recognized this before. We would never make Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford. Maybe I'm closer to the DNA of Indy and always have been than I was when I came into Star Wars, because now it does seem so abundantly clear that we can't do that.
Okay.
So a longer quote, but basically saying we can't be recasting all these legacy characters, or maybe making prequel movies about legacy characters. A lot of people took it, oh, she's bashing on Alden. We don't need all these CGI, deepfake Luke Skywalkers running around for years on end. What are your thoughts now, listening to the full quote, or when you heard it the first time? All right, Lawrence adding, the quote from the article was very misleading in your opinion, which surprises me because of who wrote the article. And I think we all agree. I mean, Anthony Bresica has been doing this for years. He knows how to write it. And I think him knowing that the full conversation with Kathleen Kennedy was dropping the next day, maybe that's why he kind of worded it or did the article that way. But yeah, very misleading. A lot of people jump out, really? What you learn about Solo failing at the box office was Alden doing an impression of Harrison Ford? But then this gives you more context into it. What are your thoughts on recasting? Let's start with that. Recasting legacy characters. Do you agree that no, that shouldn't be done for Star Wars? Everyone else does it and it seems to work. Look at Star Trek. Even the MCU has recast a bunch of people.
It's hard. It's let's take it bit by bit. It's kind of hypocritical because we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi show with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor playing characters that they recasted for the prequel.
So a lot of people have said that, and I give it a pass because of the time when it happened, plus it's like 40 years in the past.
Sure.
You had to.
I agree, but at the same time, you have George recasting, in '99, iconic role from Alec Guinness with this random kid, and it was a leap. It was a, it sometimes doesn't work as well as it did because I think no one really questions the transition from Ewan McGregor to Alec Guinness. So there's that, there's already a tradition of it in Star Wars. I get the Solo thing because Solo's like a couple of years before New Hope, and it's really like it should probably look a little bit more like Harrison, whatever. But man, it's a slippery slope because there's something, there's this whole conversation about Luke, about the CGI, about the deep fake. But there's something, I don't know for you, but for me, there's something special about Mark Hamill being pivotal to that and doing the voice and everything that goes along with creating that version of Luke that, it's weird. It worries me for a lot of things, but the way Star Wars has handled it, I think, has been very respectful and very in the service of the legacy of the character and the story. So I don't know, but from another angle, I loved Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo, so I don't think he was a problem with that movie in any way. I've said this a couple of times. It's a bit controversial. For me, he was a better Han Solo than Donald Glover was a Lando. So there's that. So I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
Yeah, I love Alden and Han Solo. And I'm not saying he's better than Harrison Ford, of course, but if I hear Han Solo, the phrase that comes to my head, it's Alden Ehrenreich as Solo. Yes, I don't know why. Maybe because the whole movie is with him. That's what pops into my head. So to me, I can make that easy transition. What I still saying that, we learned that we can recast this legacy character still puts a little bit of a dent that, the reason this movie didn't do as well was because Harrison Ford wasn't there. He didn't catch his swagger, mannerisms, or whatever. You can argue that if you want. I love the way that he did it. And by the end, I think he's Han Solo 100%.
I had that very same feeling, yes.
Yeah. CGI and deep faking, I understand and see the progression. I loved seeing both Leia and Tarkin in Rogue One. Didn't expect them. Love that they showed up. Seeing Luke in Mando Season 2, yeah, great. He looks kind of weird, but he's there. We know it's him. And then the progression for Book of Boba Fett, 100. You're like 98%. You sure that's not Mark Hamill? He looks even younger than Mark Hamill did at that time.
Yeah.
But now, if you go into the ethics of it, right? Deep faking, now the AI voice and everything, it's what the hell is going to happen out there just in a general sense. And it's funny because when Book of Boba Fett came out, everyone was praising what they did. And then just like everything that's popular, then people start jumping on it. And now a lot of people are saying, oh, he's a plastic Mark Hamill. There's no emotion to it. Emotion was a little bit, yeah. But no one was questioning it when they were watching it. Luke Skywalker speak to Ahsoka as he's pushing Baby Yoda along the way. We all were loving it.
I will say the emotion part, it really felt like the prequel acting. And, I've accepted it with the prequel, so I'll accept it here. It's a slippery slope because then you have this at the same time Marvel announced they bought Stan Lee's likeness.
Yeah.
And that's just so weird.
No, I don't like that one because I think it's different with actors that have recently passed. And just to make a cameo, it's like, we haven't had one in 2 years. We're fine.
We all know why he's not doing the cameos. We all know it. It's fine. Yeah. Like, it's so weird. I don't like it. But unless they can show me a letter of Stan Lee being like, yeah, do this. I don't know.
I get if George Lucas says, if I die, when I die, if you want to use extreme CGI to bring me back, I'll sign it. I agree. I think George will be okay with it.
He loved
Stan Lee, I don't know. Just let me rest in peace.
Yeah.
Anyways, so does this mean we're getting more CGI, deepfake, legacy characters? She also says that we're trying to move away from the Skywalker saga, even though Anakin Skywalker is back. Luke Skywalker, we've seen him twice. He'll probably be in Ahsoka. Anakin Skywalker will probably be in Ahsoka. This other show right after Return of the Jedi with young kids, is that Luke rebuilding his? So are we really moving away?
And also she mentions like it's all part of the same story. It's not different movies. It's one series.
All right. Do you think the Lando show is in trouble now if they are going away from recasting?
That was my first thought. Like,
yeah,
what does this mean? Like, is Billy D gonna do the action?
Unless they bring another character, another actor, same as Luke, and then just deep fake Billy D's face into him.
I don't want that.
No.
Unless Billy D's like, yeah, this is cool.
I just have to do the voice and they'll just change it. Thing is, I love Alden. I wish for a Solo 2. I don't think that's happening now. Lando hasn't been there's been zero mention of Lando since it was announced, and with these comments, I think Lando show it's
Not
bye
even
bye.
rumors.
At least,
not even rumors. We haven't gotten anything.
Nothing. So I think that's done. All right. So we already talked about Ryan Johnson. So let's jump into Andor. You said some of your favorite things from the article were about Andor, but what else? What else do we have in the chat before we jump into Andor? Anyone else have any thoughts?
Lauren's very active. She's basically commenting on everything we're saying, but yeah, but this is basically in line with what she said before about the article being misleading. So yeah, she's not going to specific actors, but yeah, the article kind of spins it that way.
Yeah, because they mention Alden by name. He's like, not trying to throw Alden under the bus, but he didn't do a good job.
But the specific quote you read, it's different. It doesn't really go that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with this. They're moving away from the Skywalker saga, and I agree with this too. Celebration better clarify. I agree. But you know what? I tweeted about this, and I'm glad this article came out because it really helps set expectations for next week. It really, really does.
All right. So setting expectations. Let's talk about Andor. Diego Luna comes out, describes it, Andor as a refugee story with refugee story with desperate people fleeing the Empire at the full force of its power is the journey of a migrant. And then we have Tony Gilroy, who's directing and producing. He says his adopted home will become the base of our whole first season. As we watch that place become radicalized, Gilroy says, then we see another planet that's completely taken apart in a colonial kind of way. The Empire is expanding rapidly. They're wiping out anybody who's in their way. Love 100% everything they said. I mentioned here how Andor is my most anticipated. I want them to focus so much on the Empire, and this seems 100% the way that they're going. I didn't know that Andor's home planet got destroyed by the Empire when he was a kid, and then was a refugee. Colonialism, we've talked about this a little bit in the show. Everyone's excited for Andor. We saw how Diego Luna, how he was quiet when he got the call, didn't want the driver to hear anything, the taxi driver. Love that he was in Mexico City, not living out there in Hollywood or anything. But Andor, what are your thoughts after reading all those comments?
It's also interesting. I love those quotes about the refugee and the immigrant, because if you know Cassian's backstory, you know he used to be a separatist. So it's going to be very interesting to see him, join the rebellion, because it's built on the ashes of the Republic and the Republic Army. So, that transitioned into the Empire, but he's going to be fighting along a lot of people he fought against, or his family fought against the previous war. I love it. I can't wait to see the show. I can't wait to see what the story is, how it moves, how it evolves. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can say about Andor. We're all extremely excited about it. There was always, what's it going to focus on? There's a lot of paragraphs and stories also about Mon Mothma. She's looking great in those pictures. Genevieve O'Reilly. I had to read that it was Mon Mothma on the little picture. I'm like, who the hell is this brand new character there? Looking respectfully. But she looks great. Andor looks great with this long coat, longer hair. Coming into the Resistance, the Rebellion, we know Bail Organa's going to be there. We're going to be seeing this from two fronts, from the Empire, just at the height, because we're seeing it a little bit in Rebels. We saw it at the end in Rogue One, but this is them now at the height of their power. Extremely interesting what it's going to be. And the way that both Diego Luna and Tony Gilroy talk about it, 100% this is what I wanted from the show. And again, crossing my fingers for a trailer and more information on Celebration this Thursday. So
I really hope we get the trailer, because we got a reel a while ago. So
year and a half ago.
It's coming out.
So this is coming out. This is after Kenobi. It comes out in the summer. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're getting Kenobi now.
We're definitely getting the trailer.
Yeah, we'll get the trailer, we'll get everything. We'll have Kenobi coming out. The first 2 episodes, there's only 4 episodes after that. We have Miss Marvel and She-Hulk kind of back to back also. So I think July to August, I'm guessing, is when Andor's gonna come out.
Probably after She-Hulk.
I don't know. I don't know how many episodes. It might be the same thing as Kenobi and Miss Marvel. That Kenobi starts first and then Miss Marvel's right there. So it might be She-Hulk starts first and then it goes back to back with Andor.
We'll see. I can't believe they let them cross over because they've done everything they can not to let them cross over.
The thing is, there's 7 days in the week. They have to drop on the same day.
They're the only people that care. Nobody cares. I could watch both.
I mean, I'll watch it again. I'll see one in the afternoon, one late at night, or whatever. But
exactly,
yeah,
it's fine.
We've all watched more than one show in a day. It's nothing brand new.
They should have just gone like Marvel on Wednesdays and Star Wars on Fridays.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Marketing, advertising. We won't get into it. All right. So just finishing up before we jump into Kenobi speculation. 2 more topics. One, just a little about the Acolyte. We're starting to get now more information about the Acolyte. 100 years before the Phantom Menace, roughly 100 years. We know that the High Republic is, 150 years before the Phantom Menace, I believe. And then they talk a little bit, Leslie Headland saying, we're taking a look at the political and personal and spiritual things that came up in a time period that we don't know much about. My question when watching the Phantom Menace was always like, well, how did things get to this point? How did we get to a point where a Sith Lord can infiltrate the Senate and none of the Jedi picked up on it? Yes, of course, we all want to know how that happened. 100 years before the Phantom Menace is right there with where we are right now in the High Republic. So this has to be right after the High Republic ends. The books, I'm guessing. I don't know if characters are going to overlap. But yes.
They'd be too old.
We don't know. Some of them, I mean, most of them are humans, but we don't know. We might get some. Some of the main actress who's been cast, which is not official, but looks a little bit like Keith Trennis. Probably not. Has a certain look. But she also goes on to the Jedi uniforms are gold and white, and it's almost like they would never get dirty. They will never be out and about, Headland says. The idea is that they could have these types of uniform because that's how little they're getting into skirmishes. 2 things. Yes, finally, live action High Republic Jedi robes, 100%. High Republic Jedi do go out and get in a lot of skirmishes as we've seen. So if those 50 years between the end of the High Republic books to when the Acolyte comes out, is it peace and love out there?
I would think so, because I don't know how long Mark and Rowe lives, but I think he'd be dead by this point also. I don't know. I mean, if it's 100 years before Phantom Menace, it's 100 years after Light of the Jedi. So
yeah.
The shiny, I actually like that quote about the shiny robes because it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes in a Star Wars book when in Into the Dark, when Reith is talking about Jedi combat and he's like, I don't even know why we learned this because we never really use it.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of has to be like this because the Jedi are driven into a very clear sense of security. Mm-hmm. Even when having a Sith Lord right in their face, they're like, I don't think so. So at some point after the books and within the show, they have to like be at peace, I guess, and things start happening in the shadows. That's the way I think the show is going to go. But I was very pleasantly surprised to see we were going to deal with Jedi because I thought this was going to be I honestly thought this was going to be a Darth Plagueis story or something.
So that was my next question. Are we getting Darth Plagueis in the shadows? Maybe an extremely young Chief Palpatine. I don't know how. I know if 100 years, I don't know how far it'll go.
I think we'll get a young Plagueis.
Okay. I don't know who Plagueis' master was. Maybe we get that. And then it ends with him killing him and having to find his own apprentice. But it's still kind of a mystery thriller out there. It's still set as this darker kind of show, focusing on the how the Sith came into play. So I think we'll still get that. The Sith might be in the background because, of course, they're not showing themselves. But it's gonna be political, personal, and spiritual.
Yep, love that.
We love politics in Star Wars. They're getting a lot better. Personal, of course, any show that has that deep connection to the characters, and then spiritual. Maybe there's a lot of Force things going on the show, on both light and dark side. So yeah, I'm all ready for the Acolyte.
You know who would be a great master for Plagueis? Oh my god, people are gonna kill me.
I'm afraid to. Okay.
An older Keith Trennis.
Yeah. That's another whole show. Don't get Connor in here.
Please get Connor here.
We know, or we think, because in Jedi and Dooku Jedi Lost, this is Master Trennis, one of the Lost 20. We've only known one Trennis, and that's Keith Trennis. Is there another Trennis out there at that point? Probably not. So Keith Trennis becomes one of the Lost 20. Is it because she left the Jedi Order, like some other Jedi? I won't say, because there might be some spoilers out there. Or does she turn to the dark side by the end of the High Republic? Maybe. She's not there anymore. She's not part of the council. She's not a Jedi. We'll see. That'll be extremely interesting. A great connection to the books. It's there. It's there for them if they want it. And then finally, Grammar Rodeo. So we speculated a little bit about this last week. This High Republic show, Star Wars and Stranger Things, little kids. It's not going to be happening in the High Republic. It's going to be directed by John Watts, who just left Fantastic Four. He did the MCU Sony Spider-Man movies. And then the only information we get, casting for 4 11 to 12-year-olds after Return of the Jedi. And inside Lucasfilm, the show is being described as a galactic version of classic Amblin coming-of-age adventure films of the 80s. Great, seems to be for a younger crowd, but we all love a good coming-of-age story. We're still in that time period that we are spending more and more time after Return of the Jedi. Is this Luke rebuilding the Jedi Order? Or is this something completely different? It doesn't talk about Jedi or anything. It's just 4 young kids out there after Return.
I think it is. I think it has to do with Master.
But we're moving away from the Skywalker saga.
How does it say how long after Return of the Jedi?
No, the only thing is this time period after Return of the Jedi is similar to The Mandalorian, which is 5 years afterwards. But I think they're just talking that it's like Mando is taking place after Return of the Jedi. But I don't think it'll be more than 5 years.
Really?
Just me.
Thing is, if you say, yeah, I get it. If you say after Return of the Jedi, it's probably closer to that movie. If you say before Force Awakens, it's closer to that movie, probably. I don't know, man. It's interesting because, yes, it's in this time period we know, but it's in that time of space that we really don't know that much about. It's 30 years of story. That's basically as long as the first 6 movies. I'm excited for it. I've liked John Watts, the Amblin feel. I love E.T. It's one of my favorite movies. And, Kathleen Kennedy, very involved with Amblin. So it would be cool if this was like, I don't want her to quit or anything, but it would be cool if this was like her going out.
Her swan song.
Like bringing it back to home where her career started.
Yeah.
But let's see, man. Because the thing I'm worried about, if this is a Luke Skywalker Academy movie, I'm all for it, because probably means Ben Solo. But I don't know, like, if it's like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, will Luke already have this school? I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. No idea. Again, there's no mention of Jedi or anything, no mention of Luke Skywalker, just 4 11 to 12-year-olds. Might be something completely different. We'll see. But it's good to get a little bit more information. It's not High Republic. Whatever. We'll see.
All right. Do you feel excited for it, or? Not really.
Yeah, I mean it's a new Star Wars show. Of course, I'm gonna be excited. A little bit more information might be better. I've said before I want to move away from the stories that we know. We have Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and we have Ahsoka, and all these shows in that same kind of time period after Return.
Mhm.
So I would prefer something different. But not knowing what this show is gonna be about, if it's Luke rebuilding the Jedi Order, I don't know. I'm kind of meh on that idea. If
Okay.
it's something different, then okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah. By the way, Mo said something that's interesting. She's saying we'll probably see Yoda in the Acolyte, and I agree.
Yeah, he'll be
I
there.
agree.
He'll be like, finally, we can. I can do the Yoda voice.
And like with everything, we're hoping we get more information on Celebration.
Yeah.
I really hope John Watts is there then. If
Okay.
you know they already made that announcement, he's officially making this. I hope he's there and talk a
Yeah.
little bit about it.
Yeah. So next Thursday. Oh man, we're gonna be so busy that Thursday next week.
But please temper your expectations, people.
Never.
I don't want people to go like, why didn't we get a trailer for the Acolyte?
No. Don't even. Maybe some
Well,
concept art, but no.
why didn't they announce a Thrawn trilogy?
Oh, dude, no more Thrawn. Give me a rest from Thrawn for about 6 more years. All
Precisely.
right. Yes. Well, as you know, the Jesus Embassy is very important that we keep that because I is wrong. We'll never see. He's like a Spaniard speaking English. He always has that
He's like a
CH.
German Spaniard
Yeah.
hybrid thing.
The Jesus Embassy is the most important thing. And my Eli Vanto, he knows. All right. Anyway, so we're moving to Kenobi speculation. Let's talk about Kenobi. Yeah, we get a little bit. It's from the trailer, but that's fine. So we finally get Kenobi after so many years talking about Kenobi. Is it gonna happen? It's not gonna happen. It's happening in 6 days. I'm not gonna ask if you're excited because we are all very excited. But there you go. Of course, there you have it. I mean, everyone's been out there in the promotional circuit. Deborah Chow, Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Moses Ingram. Everyone's out there. Everyone's doing. Yeah, I'll narrate the next Throne book. I mean, yeah, it might be the only way to get me to do some Throne, to read Throne and narrate it. But just a quote real quick by Deborah Chow. She says, "For me, across the prequels, through the original trilogy, there's a love story dynamic with these two that goes through the whole thing. I felt like it was quite hard to not include the person who left Kenobi in such anguish in the series, talking about bringing Darth Vader back. What intrigued her was the idea that despite what Vader had become, Kenobi might still care deeply about him. I don't know how you could not," she says. "I don't think he ever will not care about him. What's special about that relationship is that they loved each other." So that already puts you that mentality for the series that we're gonna be broken down emotionally. She goes on to say that at the beginning of the series, Obi-Wan doesn't know that Anakin survived. He thinks that he killed him in Mustafar, which was one of my questions.
That's interesting.
What after hearing those quotes, this emotional journey for both of them, I don't know what are you expecting from this series, at least for those two characters.
So I just want to say like one quick thing. The Vanity Fair article talks about this thing of she going to Hayden's house and sitting down and talking about it. And quick story, it just reminded me of when Last Jedi was coming out. Ryan talked about Carrie doing that same thing. He talked about one day she like knocked on his door and she's like, "Yeah, I have some pointers on the script," and he's like, "Okay," and then she barged in and went to his room and laid on his bed and he's like, "Okay." It's like, what?
Yeah.
So it kind of reminded me of that. So man, I'm so excited with all of this. It has to be a heartbreak, and that angle that Kenobi thinks he killed Anakin and him finding out he's alive. It's so, because then you see how maybe he's like, maybe I should go, because maybe he's with the skill thing. He's like, I didn't try enough. I killed him, and suddenly he's like, wait, he's alive. Maybe I can go there and change the tide here.
Yeah, it's some. I don't know why. I always thought that at the beginning of this series that Obi-Wan would know that Anakin had survived and that he was Darth Vader already. And I knew, it's going to be an emotional roller coaster anyway. But knowing that, no, at the beginning of the story, he doesn't know. Once he learns that Anakin Skywalker is still out there, I'm not one to start saying, oh, give them a voice or anything. But the way Ewan McGregor can come to this scene, this series, and just deliver, and then, like you said, maybe this is why he leaves Luke to go and find Anakin and try to bring him back or whatever. Now we're talking. Now, yes, give me this series yesterday.
And this takes me on so many tangents. We're seeing that moment with Owen. He's like, no, the boy. We talked about this. The boy must be trained. I love that line. That we talked about this. Wait, good. What?
I love, again, just giving us a little bit more context. Yeah, we talked about this. When the time comes, he must be trained.
So I can imagine that scene ending and he having even performance anxiety, being like, yeah, the last time I tried to train a Skywalker, it backfired. And then him being like, a Skywalker should train a Skywalker. Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine? Yeah.
We'll get Leia. We're getting the trio.
We're back together. Great. The band is back together.
So
I mean, does he know that it's Darth Vader when he learns that Anakin is alive? Will he make the connection? Is he, oh, there's Darth Vader out there? Who tells them? How does he learn that Vader is Anakin or that Anakin is out there? That's gonna be, how does he learn this?
It will, man. Now I'm thinking about the trailer and that sequence where it's implied he's seeing him get built.
Mm-hmm.
And could you imagine him not knowing and seeing that for the? Oh my God!
If he's just facing Vader for whatever reason, and then just removes his mask, and that's Anakin.
I also
there's so many ways.
I also think a lot about oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, and I got it. I always saw this story, and I mentioned I wrote a treatment for it. By the way, I uploaded the episode. It's in Spanish. Sorry, people.
Gotta check it out.
Yeah, so I always had this vision that, because I wrote that very soon after Last Jedi, and I paralleled Kenobi with Luke, because they're going through very much the same thing. But it's interesting because we're gonna start with Kenobi a little bit earlier in this arc than where we saw Luke. We're gonna see him learn that he is not the person to turn Anakin. Maybe they're still good there, but he's not the guy who's gonna do it.
Do you think it can be during that conversation, or maybe if Reva, the third sister, is hunting Kenobi? Do you think we see glimpses of Anakin? Lawrence, go ahead.
Yeah, Lauren, it's Deborah Shaw. She's doing the whole thing.
Yes, which is great. Do you think we'll get glimpses of Anakin from behind Vader, like he turns or returns to being Anakin for a minute to either help Obi-Wan escape from the Inquisitors, or does "you're my brother, I loved you," and he kind of becomes Anakin for 5 seconds, and then kind of in Rebels when he sees Ahsoka and then goes back?
That's where I'm going. That's really where I'm going. I think Kenobi will think he's this close to turning.
Yeah.
And that's like very, very similar to Last Jedi. You know, we get the scene where Snoke thinks Kylo is playing for his team, and no, he's not. So maybe we get something like that. I got it.
Okay, here we go. Let me write it down. So there's evidence. Record this, everyone.
I'm saying it now. Vader's gonna kill Reva. And
no.
To your point, Kenobi's gonna think, oh, he's trying to help me. And he's gonna kill her, and he's gonna be like, no, you're mine.
Yeah, but isn't that too similar to Jedi Fallen Order when he kills Trilla?
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
it has to rhyme. Yeah, so we can make all this.
Wait. You know, if Vader and Reva are fighting Kenobi, Vader wants that kill. Nobody's taking that away from him.
How much Vader are we getting? Because we have Reva, we have the Grand Inquisitor, the sixth brother, the other sister, the other Inquisitor. I forget her name. I think they mention her name or her call sign or whatever. I forgot. There's 3 Inquisitors out there plus Vader. There's a lot of killing that can go on, so we'll see.
But to your point, I don't know how much Vader's gonna be on the show.
He'll be there a few episodes. I mean, at least, action-wise, like going out there and fighting. Is it just that one? I'm guessing just the one with Kenobi at some point.
Vader's a character that he's effective when used the least, and that's a bit contradictory because I love seeing him hack stuff. But they're also giving a lot of emphasis to Hayden being back. I don't know. I can't wait to see how it's gonna play out.
So Lauren put down on the comments, I'm just gonna highlight it real quick. She says, I'll be disappointed if Reva dies at the end of this series. I 100% agree with Lauren. Also because Lucasfilm, unfortunately, doesn't have the best track records with African-American characters, Black characters. So you bring another Black female new character and just kill them off the first series that we get them. Kind of looks a little bad. But again, it's 6 episodes. If each episode is 1 hour, that's like a whole trilogy. So, okay, I'll give you a pass. But my hope, because are we getting a Kenobi season 2 and I'm okay with it being 1 series, my hope is by the end that Reva returns to the light, and then we get a show about her looking for Jedis and trying to.
That would be a great story. That would not only be a great story, it would be a great different story.
Yeah, and then she can run into Cal Kestis, maybe even runs into Caleb Dune as he's hiding with Hera, trying to bring him back, and she said, no, I can't anymore. So you can do something with Reva if she turns back to the light and then switch it, give us that whole series. So that's why I'm hoping she doesn't die.
Moses Ingram is great. So if she wants to hang out in Star Wars, that would be awesome.
And man, let's talk real quick. The Inquisitors look. We've already talked about the Grand Inquisitor. I'm on board with the design, but everyone else and their armor, their costume is so great. All the lightsabers. We might get spinny lightsabers, helicopters. He said in the interview, we might get those. Rupert Finn said we can fly. I think we're getting one.
I love stupid Star Wars, and for me, the spinny thingies are the stupidest things. So let's get it.
Oh man, the first thing is like, what the hell is this? And now just give it to me. Give me that freak flying through the air just make a tornado in Tatooine with all that dust, a dust tornado, and then what's going on? And the Grand Inquisitor is in the middle. Just give me that. Are we getting flashback to the Clone Wars? That's what everyone wants. See Anakin back in this whole glory and Kenobi in the Clone Wars armor. Maybe Padme.
I don't know if we're gonna get. I wish we did, especially if it means Padme. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna get my hopes up for that, really.
Well, we're speculating. I think we're getting Clone Wars flashback. We have Hayden back. He's under the suit. We'll see him as Vader without the helmet, just getting built. I think there'll be at least one Clone Wars flashback.
Yeah, because my main thing is like bringing back Hayden just to put him under the mask. Yeah, and it feels weird. So I really hope he gets to do some acting and redemption for him, because he's a good actor. Like, I really hope he gets like a very cool scene or something.
I'll read this quote from Hayden Christensen. Also, he said, "A lot of my conversations with Deborah were about wanting to convey this feeling of strength, but also coupled with imprisonment," Christensen says. "There's this power and vulnerability, and I think that's an interesting space to explore." So we're getting more of the Vader that we're seeing in the comics that has that kind of duality of what just happened, still caring for Padme, what did I do, but still I gotta serve the Emperor? Or is it more the movie Vader that's just small machine now than man? I think we're getting more of this, and like he said, this trapped inside this suit and he can't get out. My warriors to rip it out and he can't.
I think so too. I was just thinking, what if we don't get a flashback, but the main reason we spend a lot of time with Hayden is like we get a Vader episode. Like maybe like before the last 2 episodes. It's like it's 6 episodes.
Yes.
So what if like in episode 3 they finally meet, and then episode 4 is like maybe a mini flashback to the beginning of the show, but everything from Vader's point of view, and then you get to see, because if we're gonna get that sense of imprisonment, I think we have to spend some time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, have you seen this movie called Enemy Mine?
Oh man, I don't.
What if they get stranded together?
Sorry, I almost said I love Enemy Mine, and I'm not going that far. I haven't watched it probably in 35 years. That's a little too much. But yes, I watched this as a kid, and I said on this show that Rebels episode of Callus and Seb, that's Enemy Mine right there.
Exactly. No. Why don't we get something like that? They're stranded on a planet without lightsabers. Like, what the hell?
Out of reach of the lightsaber, you're just walking away. Oh God, I want to kill you. No, you can't. I don't know. That might be.
That'd be weird.
It'd be weird. But a whole Vader episode, that could be great. So we got a Mando episode. We can get a whole Vader episode.
Precisely, yeah.
So before we jump into a few things, we're gonna go a little bit over an hour, but I'll try to shorten a few things. Flashback, we talked about it. Are we getting a mention of Satine Kryze?
Please.
Yes, so. We have to get a mention. Surprise appearances. We've mentioned before. Are we getting Cody? Cody's path to...
Well, wild card pick. Yes, we're getting Cody.
Oh, freaking Cody. If he comes back and, I don't know, helps... man, just die. There you go. Don't kill Reva. Cody's there helping Kenobi.
Oh, if he's there, he has to die.
And Vader freaking stuffs him through the chest.
Why do you hate Cody so much?
Because he sucks. No, Cody, it's just from like my 3rd episode. I ranked the clones, and I always had this joke that Cody just left. He saw Kenobi fall down, and he went, okay, you, new clone trooper, just stay right over there. I gotta go. I got a meeting back in Coruscant. I got a hot date. I gotta head out of here. It's like, dude, just stay there for 15 minutes and see if he comes up. That's your whole job, is to kill Kenobi, and you just... I'm washing my hands. I'm leaving. He could have ended the Clone Wars right there. He could have saved the galaxy. No, let's look at what happened.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that he's the worst. And then in season 7 of the Clone Wars, when we get the Bad Batch, here's Cody knocked out. He doesn't do anything for that. They just carry him. Wreckers just carrying him around. Oh, what have I got knocked down 2 days ago? Yeah, Cody, shut up. That's why I hate him.
Yeah. So what do you think about this, Lawrence mentioning bounty hunters being on the show?
So I was going to ask, what bounty hunters? Because Reva said, every bounty hunter, every lowlife go after Kenobi. There's someone in the shadows with a hat. People already saying that's Cat Bane. I don't think we're getting Cat Bane on this show. But he was introduced already. We have, who else?
I know who
Busk. We have... Forlom, that we already, if you saw the art, one of those interviews, I just saw it's not Forlom. It's the same type of species or bounty, but it's not Forlom, kind of IG-11 and IG-88. I don't know. Just give me new bounty hunters. I don't care about all the other ones.
I'm going to go with another wild card pick. That guy sitting right behind you on the wall.
This guy? He might.
The other one. That guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with him.
You know, as I was saying that I didn't want any bounty hunters, I started thinking, okay, what's the time period? Is Boba Fett around? He'll be young, but he's there.
He'll be around.
It's kind of a New Hope. 5 years, 10 years before A New Hope.
9 years. Is
no, yeah. 9 years.
He's around.
He's around. Give me Daniel Logan now.
It would be a great parallel to see him fight Kenobi like his dad. It would also supercharge the show. It's the show with Boba Fett, with Darth Vader, with Kenobi.
And then would they do a deep fake Tamura Morrison or give us Daniel Logan? I say give us Daniel Logan, or do like you said in Looper, do that combination of Joseph Gordon-Levitt with Bruce Willis. You can do a combination with Daniel Logan and Tamura, then deep fake it that way. You got the technology, use it. Are we getting a helmetless Vader against Kenobi confrontation?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had it there for a reason.
We'll get him for sure, but I don't know fighting.
Maybe not fighting, but he might remove his mask when he's talking to Kenobi at some point.
That'd be
Yosu,
devastating.
look what you did to me. This is your fault. Scarred, burned.
Brother.
I got brother, you love me. Look at my hair. I don't have no hair. It used to be golden locks. Now I got nothing.
Man, I really want this. I really want him to take off that mask and just have this monologue.
Yes.
Vader talking. What the hell? I haven't said a word in 10 years because
he's got to take it off. And they just, okay, I need my rebreather again.
Finally. Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean all of that.
That's how Kenobi beats him. Just keeps him talking without his mask so he can't get his breathing system. So I wanted to ask, as we're winding down, all the other characters remaining from the cast that was announced. We don't know who everyone else is playing, so main one, because we saw him on the trailer, and there's a little bit of an interview that came out yesterday with, I already messed up his name, Kumail Nanjiani. Mm-hmm. Some people thought first he was going to be a droid because it brings this comedic element. We saw him on the trailer, looks like Jedi robes underneath, so at least I was, okay, that's the Jedi that Obi-Wan is talking about when he says, the fighting's done, stay hidden. But on an interview yesterday, on a podcast that he was on, he goes on to say the name of the character is Haja. Haja. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know. Haya, maybe. It's works in Dayu, which is this new planet that we've seen. Survival. Sorry?
That's the one with the neon lights?
Yes. So he works in Dayu. Survival is all that matters and cons people for money. So maybe he's not a Jedi. But then my gears started sinking. Oh, Roberto's here. How you doing, Roberto? Thanks for joining us for our Kenobi talk. So it reminded me, this interpretation a little bit, kind of a mixture of Kanan and Ezra when we meet Ezra at the beginning of Rebels. This kid trying to make ends meet, conning people for food, not for money, but just to help out. So maybe he's this ex-Jedi that's now in Dayu, kind of hiding, trying to stay away from the bigger conflict, and then gets dragged into this, because Kenobi's there for a reason. So that's what I was thinking. And then, what if, and this, like you said before, this is when I'm hatching my bets that this is going to happen, or at least this is what I'm thinking. What if that part from the trailer, because why would he be wearing Jedi robes that look like Jedi if he's not a Jedi hiding in Dayu or waking over there, working? What if that part from the trailer is a flashback to Order 66 and he's hiding? He's a Jedi, a younger Jedi, hiding somewhere during Order 66. Maybe he's in Coruscant while Anakin is chopping heads of little younglings. He hides, he survives Order 66, and then goes to Dayu and says, I just don't want to deal with this, and I'm just trying to survive out here. And Kenobi has to go find him because the Inquisitors are after him, and that's why he leaves Tatooine. So that's my bet, is that scene is a flashback to Order 66 when he survives and then moves to Dayu.
So, okay, I have two thoughts. I think he's an ex-Jedi turned con man because, he has to survive some way. My second choice, and it's a boring real-world answer. Every time we see someone with Jedi robes, everyone gets excited. And, when you really think about it, Jedi robes are just Uncle Owen's clothing from A New Hope. So, I don't really put that much stock into seeing someone wear robes because Uncle Owen wore those same robes. But I don't know. I go with my bet. I think he's if that's a flashback, maybe. I don't know.
It is. What do you mean, maybe? And I agree that Jedi robes.
Agrees with you, by the way.
Yeah, it's a flashback. Roberto's with us. Again, Roberto will be here with us next week doing all these special shows. I understand the thinking, just regular robes that people wear. Look at everyone on Tatooine. You wouldn't be wearing that clothes in that neon planet, I think. If you're back on a desert planet, it makes sense.
Have you been there?
Yes, actually. I just came back from Dayu. last weekend. That's why I was late to the show.
Bought this robe.
It's back there in my closet. It didn't fit the decor, the place, so they kicked me out of the club. I had to go buy some neon clothes and sparkly shoes. See, they feel out of place. Roberto's with me 100%. So we'll see. We won't have a lot to wait to see what's going on. I don't know when we'll get this character, but he'll be there. Then we have O'Shea Jackson. We don't know which character he's playing. Lawrence saying, I think he will be just a conman scoundrel character.
Maybe.
Could be. We need a good scoundrel. O'Shea Jackson has been quiet. He's a known name out there, so I'm surprised you haven't heard who he's playing. Simone Kessel, which I don't know too much about her. And then Benny Safdie, which I've seen him in a few things.
He's a director, but he's an actor.
Yeah. So we have 3. I think these are the only 3 from that original casting call that we have heard nothing about them.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah. That first trailer first teaser trailer had like a giant droid walking around. Maybe one of these characters is playing them. No idea. I don't know. So we talked a little bit at the beginning about Kenobi and Owen. We got that extended clip about when time comes, he must be trained. And then Owen's like, you only care if his powers are showing, basically. So what do you think? What do you make out of this relationship? How much more are we going to get between Owen and Kenobi? Or is that the scene and that's it?
So I'm very interested in that relationship specifically because I was just tweeting with someone the other day about the Return of the Jedi novelization, where we get the reveal that Owen and Obi-Wan are brothers.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see how that relationship has evolved. And it's a relationship, we've gotten comics here and there expanding it a little bit, but it's going to be great seeing them play it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't expect Uncle Owen to be in the show that much. Maybe 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
We haven't seen anything about Beru. Hopefully she's not there just, hey, look, your blue milk. Okay, bye. It's like, give us something. Give us a little bit more with.
It'd be great if we spent a little time with them, but I don't think it's going to be that much. I don't think they'll be in all 6 episodes.
No.
They'll go on the journey with him.
All right, you can take him, but we gotta be there. Gotta make sure he doesn't fall behind on his schoolwork.
We got baby Luke, CGI Mark Hamill. Oh my god, we get the Disney Gallery, and we see Uncle Owen carrying Mark Hamill.
Here we go. And just miniaturize him.
Yeah.
It'll be so good. Just Mark Hamill just doing all the things, and you bring the little kid so he can just.
By the way, is the kid playing Luke the same baby from Revenge of the Sith, or did I just make this up?
You made this up.
I made this up. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith came out.
This is almost 20 years ago. He'll be like 17 or 18 years old.
Okay, sorry. I think I'm younger than I think I am. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I get these brain parts at times.
Kid actor just are younger and younger now. He's been acting since he was a baby. It's just de-age him too much when older with to 9 years.
Everyone has to understand. For me, Revenge of the Sith came out like 5 years ago.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and watch it tomorrow just to get hyped for the show.
Oh, I rewatched it a couple of nights ago.
Yeah. All right. So
5-year-old movie.
Yeah, Lauren, you're right. Oti trying to connect the dots. What? Just seeing everything work in real time. It's a pleasure. All right. Anything else? I know we could keep talking, but I think we can wrap it up. Anything else that you might want to see? Just Kenobi, just give us that beard and that hair. We'll be happy. Already mentioned a little bit how he might. Do you think that's the reason? That would be a great reason for him to leave Tatooine, is because he learned that Anakin survived and he needs to go.
I like that reasoning. And
yeah,
to what I said, maybe him revisiting this whole thing and being like, I can maybe seeing it as a shortcut. And all I want is for him to learn a lesson here. And maybe him being like, I don't have to wait 19 years. I could just go like Ray, I can just go to him and turn him. I saw it as clear as the light of day.
Yeah.
Like, I really like that angle. So the way I've always, and very quick, the way I've always seen it, I've always thought he got forced out. Maybe there's a danger there that he has to go and drive it out, or maybe he gets kidnapped. I don't know. So that's the way I've always seen it. So I'm very interested to see how it really happens.
So is this Qui-Gon's Force Ghost who reveals that Anakin is alive? Force Ghost can travel. He might know that Anakin's alive. He's been communicating with Yoda.
By the way, Roberto, yes, we will, because that's how Hollywood tells us time.
Yeah, and plus stress. You can see all the presidents, so with black hair by 4 years, they're all white out. So we'll have some gray, a little bit more gray.
What were you saying, Roberto? Alberto, sorry.
Is Qui-Gon's ghost the one that tells Kenobi, maybe Anakin's still out there? You made a promise. You gotta go save this boy.
I've always also thought about him being like, it's the boy, and he's like, yes, I'm watching over him. He's like, not that boy, the other boy. But Qui-Gon knows he because Force Ghosts see everything. They don't see time, so he knows he's out there. He knows what's gonna happen. Like, he knows Anakin's gonna kill Obi-Wan eventually. So I don't know how big a role he has. Maybe he has a role in helping Obi-Wan not lose faith. Or get it back, because that's something he mentions in the article.
Yeah.
Like, we start off with an Obi-Wan who has lost all faith in everything. So it's also interesting to see him being like, the boy must be trained. Like, trained in what, bro?
Yeah, the fighting's done. You just said it. The fighting's done. We lost. Stay healing. What? Why do we need to train him? So yeah, that's my other one. Qui-Gon's gonna be the one to tell him, dude, come on, Anakin, you got a job to finish.
You made a promise.
You made a promise. Promise me you'll train the boy.
But how do you think that would play out with him finding Darth Vader and there being no way to turn him?
Well, that's what makes the show interesting.
No. But I mean, what it means for him and Qui-Gon. Like, where does that go in the end? Like, they're being like, bro, you played me.
I don't know. He'll go back, and maybe that's when we're here. Maybe he's talking to Qui-Gon.
Maybe he calls him and Qui-Gon just ghosts him for like 5 years.
Yeah, wasn't me.
Whoopsie.
We don't see him again.
Came up 5 years too early.
Yeah, I don't know. It might. I don't know how Force Ghost works.
So what we know is that once you die, the weird thing is like they don't see time. So it's like at first it's weird for them to adapt, but once they connect, they see it all. Like, they don't see a distinction between Obi-Wan in New Hope and Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace or Obi-Wan in Rise of Skywalker. It's for them, it's all the same thing. It's weird.
Couldn't he just tell him, okay, Obi-Wan, you're gonna die in 20 years. I mean, 9 years. They're gonna stab you, but it's all part of the plan. You'll be fine.
No, they can't intervene, man. That breaks the script. That makes it all too easy.
Then just hide. Then why are Force Ghosts? Are they just bored then? Let me just go mess with
the way I'm seeing it is maybe he's trying to give Obi-Wan hope back, and Obi-Wan takes it as, you should go out there.
Say, no, why do you take? That's not what I said.
I keep going to it. He has to learn a lesson here. He has to have an arc.
There's a lesson to be learned here, which is not what they learned from that article. All right, we'll wrap it up with that one. All right, so Oti, as always, great to have you here. Thank you to Mo, Lauren, and Roberto for joining us today. Great, as always, having you in the chat. Next week is the big one again. Special episode on Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. Same at Friday, and then we're back here at 5 p.m. on Saturday, covering everything Star Wars Celebration, everything Kenobi. I don't know if we do on Friday, because there will be a lot of Celebration news. Talk only about the first episode of Kenobi, and then on Saturday cover the second one. We might go that route.
Just let me know.
So all right, that's it for us. Oti, thank you for being here. So I don't know if you want to plug something. I'm sure people know already, but
I'm here every Saturday from now on, and next week a couple of times. So but you can always follow me at,
yeah, it's there. It's on the video description. Same for us. I do have my spoiler review of Brotherhood in our website, so go check that out. Enjoy the book. A few points I could do without. Come on, Mace wasn't that bad. But it's a great book if you love Anakin, if you love Kenobi, love everything about the Clone Wars and Attack of the Clones, especially Attack of the Clones. It's very close. It's a few weeks after Attack of the Clones. So it's like, yeah, we're in the war. You learn why the Jedi go into the war, why they join the Republic Army, why they're with the clones.
Okay. I'm excited.
It's all Palpatine's fault. I mean, we know. But it's like, obviously.
He gets more into it. Okay.
Yes. Come on, you bastard. You're reading and you're like, come on, don't you see it? It's right there. He's playing you. But anyway. All right. So as always, thanks for being here, everyone. Stay safe. Be safe. And may the Force be with you. In a minute when I get my music, there we go. May the Force be with you.